B. Frank Network.
Happy Never After. I am here with Marshy Pants. Marshy Short Pants.
What's the story with the Marshy Short Pants? Seriously.
You always wear shorts.
It's fucking wintertime, man. Come on.
Do you have shorts on now?
No, as a matter of fact, I have a pair. Like every Tuesday before our manager's meeting, I shower and put on a pair of pants. So I'm not in my sweats or my pajamas. No.
Oh.
Why?
Well, every time when we started recording here, you always had shorts on and those winter boots.
Yeah. My what do you call them? What do you call them? Uggs. They went to heaven.
Yeah, mine did too. I have did it down the crease in the back?
I got it in the front.
Oh.
What are those, man?
These are my ski compression socks.
Hey, does everybody love you going out into the wilderness and chopping down wood and doing all those good things, you maniac?
Yes, I love it. It scares my neighbors. Like my neighbors yesterday, I was climbing the tree to see how I could hook up a hammock.
A hammock now? You're hooking up a hammock in 3 inches of snow?
Well, I wanted to see if I could build kind of a tree house / underneath the hammocks.
Oh my God.
And then I fell out of the tree.
You did? Get hurt?
Nope. I fell far too. And I was like, I stood up and I hobbled a little bit and I walked inside and I sat down. I was like, just calm down and feel it. Just calm down. I was like, I'm fine. Ha! Suckers.
Is Davey there? Give you some love?
He's not. He went home yesterday. So I did send him the video of me falling.
His response?
He was like, please stop climbing into trees, especially when I'm not there.
Oh, man. You're like wilderness lady.
I know, but we did get dressed up. We went to a thing, and he goes, what do we wear to this? And I was like, because I have workout clothes or I'm going the fuck out in Manhattan clothes. That's it. Those are my two ranges. And he was like, I don't know. And he was working. And so I put on one of my, all right, let's go the fuck out outfits. And he goes, oh my God, please wear that. And I was like, I'm not wearing this to your friend's house. I was like, I was just showing you, this is the range. And he's like, I love it.
Even the boots that go up to your knees? Those black boots?
Not that one. It was a onesie outfit. It was like a halter one, like a spandexy one.
You see your tits and stuff?
Fuck yeah. My tits and ass always on point.
I love you.
I sent Alicia from Muscle Spasms, a picture yesterday of my period boobs. I go, look at these things. And she...
I don't know what that means. Your boobs get bigger when you have your period?
You think they're big now? Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're double G's now, and then they get to triple.
Wow.
Yeah. And she sent me back a picture, and she goes, yeah, me too.
She has big tits, right? Alicia's got pretty big tits. No? Really?
Yeah.
I love Alicia, man.
And mine just had a sports bra on, but the nipples were barely inside. And she goes, sorry, I took my bra off. And it was just like a tank top. It was just straight.
Alicia's looking good, man.
I know.
And her food shit, she looks good.
Yeah. I think through our podcast, we've learned so much more. We've always tried to learn more and more just through our certs and our CUs and everything. But having all these guests on, we're learning so much about our body, and we're actually applying it.
That's a good idea. I should do the same.
I know. We should start training you. So Dave's great. Yeah, Dave went home for a week, and he'll be back.
When? We can't really even talk about him because every time we talk about him, I have to take it out.
Yeah, no, it's a great relationship. It's the best one I've ever had in my life. This morning I was having a full meltdown.
Why?
I went to Sharon's house today. Okay, so here's what happened. So I went to go teach my class, and then I got I started bleeding on the way there, but my regular bleeding is like the floods of whatever come out. So I had to stop twice on the way. It's an hour and a half drive, and I stopped twice so I wouldn't bleed through.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I text was teaching boot camp, but we're having a big storm here, so everybody dropped off except for these two ladies, and they text me all the time. So I text them. I was like, "Hey, I'm running a few minutes late. I'm having a major gut issue." And then they wrote me back something so white and entitled. And then you know me, I can't. I will defend myself immediately. I'm a wild card, and
What was the note?
I took a beat first, and I said, because they were like, "So are you even gonna make it?" And I wrote back, "Haha, I'm making a valiant effort. Like, I'm giving you a second to collect yourself." And then they wrote back something again that was pretty awful, and then they said, "Do you even want to teach this class?"
Oh my God.
I get paid the least amount to teach this class that I've ever been paid to teach any classes because it's fun. I drive an hour and a half. I rearrange my entire schedule around for these fucking ladies. And everybody else loves me and appreciates me, and the whole thing's great. And I just wrote back, and I'm actually going to give this a transcription of these texts to my boss. I'd like you to only communicate through the gym. And no, I won't be making it. Good luck.
Oh, Jesus. You are insane. Oh my God.
I didn't want to show up then and be like, "Okay, 30 burpees," like, fuck you. And so I just went to the studio and I sat there and I had Frank, and then I rented a hotel room, and I went to the hotel and I laid on the bed, and that's what I've done today.
Unbelievable.
This thing, okay, so then I went to Sharon's because I was like, "Sharon, I'm a wild card. I got to figure out how." I was like, "Can you be my face? Can you be the person that talks to people? I'll say what I want to say to them to you, and then you translate it to something that will keep them friends with me."
I don't think it works that way. What was her response?
She's an angel from heaven. She is, yeah, because I was like on the verge of tears because I was like, yeah, because
I hate to say it. You're always on the freaking verge of tears. I mean, toughen up.
I know I'm not tough, and everybody thinks I'm such a
Come
cunt.
on.
I know, but okay, when
Join the club, man. I can't be what can I be? I'm not a cunt, but what am I then? What is
You're an
a guy
asshole.
who's a cunt?
You're an asshole.
Got it.
Well, I told her, no, you're a fucking sweetheart. I watched the video of all the recordings. You are the cutest person on the planet. The way that you're like, you point to the camera when you know that the person got the line right. We were crying laughing. It was so cute. For Eighth Light podcast coming soon. So Sharon said that the fact that I'm actually self-reflecting, because I went over everything from the entire quarantine, really. I was like, we had Joelle on, and Joelle, and she didn't have we weren't on the same path, and then Christina and Wendy, and like it's a struggle for me. And then she was like, the fact that you're actually reflecting on things is great. It shows that you're trying to evolve as a human. And I was like, yeah, I'm not perfect. And I am really hard on people. But also, I was talking to Dave about this. I said, I think here's where I go wrong. Because I am such, and everybody should know their own strengths. I'm a really great fitness coach.
I agree.
Thank you. I am very motivating. And when I meet with people, I can get them so amped. But it's not sustaining. Like, I would have to be by their side and keep them amped forever. And I don't handhold, I don't coddle. If you want to do this, if this is your dream, then I will be there to support you and work with you. But if you start falling off and you become lazy, I will be like, get the fuck out of here, you dead weight. So that's where I go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know that.
Yeah, but you're true to yourself. You can't be fake.
I know.
If they're not doing the work, you don't want to be around. It's a waste of your time. Your time is too precious. You really value your time.
I do. And people should value their time.
I agree, man. I agree.
When you start going through things like what you and I have gone through, where with illness and stress and trauma, you're like, life is precious.
What else? That was good. That was good, man.
Thanks. I'm trying to figure it out.
So you didn't stay with Sharon. You just called her. I thought you would stay there.
No, I drove. I checked in, and then I decided to drive right over there. So I went there, and we hung out, and we had a little coffee, and she talked me off the ledge for a couple hours, and I was like, so yes, will you be my middle person? Because I don't think I can change. Because she even was talking to me about how verbiage, which I talked about this with Sam Silla from the other episode, where he said, don't say it's hard, say it's a challenge. But she was saying things like, okay, I noticed that you do this as a success, and let's expand on that, and maybe this is, and I was like, I can't do that. I'm better with here's our feedback, take it. What do you think?
About you?
Yeah.
You're tough, man. You're not easy.
No?
You don't make it easy. No. 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 Yeah, you can't fuck around with MM. Can't fuck around too much. No, you're true. People misunderstand. They don't get it. You're a passionate person, and people who are passionate, it goes both ways. People either love you because of your passion, or they can't stand you.
Mm-hmm.
But I love people with passion. I don't give a shit. I do. I'm drawn to that. I think that's a good quality.
I wanna give some fun updates.
I just want to know about Frank. How's Frank doing in the wintertime up in the country? He's chasing deer, going after the wolf. Not the wolf, the foxes and shit
the
like
bear.
That. Is there really a bear by you?
There's not a bear. There's a bear family. And the neighbors, they are the most wasteful. That is one of my biggest pet peeves is food waste. I hate it. Thank God you only eat those tiny little square. Remember that phase that you had where you were eating those little square meal things that came in a package?
Yes, absolutely.
If you want to sell a fad diet, send it to Marshall. He'll do it. Well, they're the opposite. They buy every single thing and don't eat anything, and then they throw it all in their trash, and then the bear comes and rips apart their trash every day.
Wow.
Yes. I'm like, how are you not learning? Come on.
Does Frank bark when the animals come? My dog barks all the time. Does Frank bark?
Nope, he does. He's not a barker at all.
Well, he barked at least twice because it's our brand logo.
Well, I tell him to speak, and he does it.
Oh, okay. Big Frank.
Yeah. Frank's in love with Dave. In love.
Really?
It's the cute.
Does he sleep in your bed with you guys?
He does. And then Dave calls it honeymoon style. I leave the bed to go train, and then Frank moves and lays all along across his body, and then Dave will wrap his arms around him, and I go back in, and they both have their little heads on the pillow. It's so cute. And then after I'm done training, I'll walk into the office, and he's laying on his feet underneath the desk, and I'm like, "You traitor." Yeah, they're obsessed with each other. He made this cute little video of Frank fails with him throwing the ball to him.
Really?
I put it on my Instagram. It's so cute. Yep, slow-mo. Cool. Yeah.
Are we waiting for somebody?
We're waiting for
And isn't it the right time?
Yeah.
I hate people who are late. Me and you are alike. We don't like being late. That was muscles.
It was really funny, and I was very awkward.
Why?
Alicia thought he was so hot.
Alicia loves those muscles, man.
I know. Josh! Josh actually has the same voice as you, Marshall.
Talk, Josh.
We don't sound anything alike.
We don't sound anything alike.
Josh, where's your beautiful face?
It's right here.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
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 Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Yeah, so we just did a little recap with Marshall, and now Josh Adam Meyers, one of my very good friends from Los Angeles, 500 podcast, Goddamn Comedy Jam.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
F is for Family on Netflix.
Hell yeah.
Bill Burr Presents on Comedy Central.
All of them.
Subscribe to my YouTube. We're trying to build that because everybody keeps saying that's financial independence. So smash that subscribe button.
Do you do TikToks?
No, well, yes and no, in the sense that I've posted. All right. So during quarantine, I found this app called fuck, what is it called? Voicey. And it's this app where you can create songs. There's like thousands of beats, and then you pick the beat that you want, and there's producers that are making it. And they're all about a minute long. And you then can, like, you hook up the wired headphones to the Apple iPhone, and you use that mic as like to sing into it, and you can put like distortion, and you can put like reverb. It's just really cool. It makes you sound like you're in a studio. So I started writing all of these like really funny songs during quarantine
Mm-hmm.
because I was so bored. And then I was like, well, they're not Instagram me. They're kind of on brand, but only if they're really good. But I mean, some of them are just so bad. Like, but they're like, to be honest with you, none of them are bad.
What do you
Just-
mean Instagram you? Are you trying to keep cohesive on one and then
No, it's because here's the deal. It was if the only way I can post it on Instagram and have it do well is if I make a music video for it. So I did one. It was like 120 degrees in Hollywood one day. I mean, it was so hot. And so I wrote this song called It's Hot as Fuck Outside. And I was like, this is funny, dude. And I wrote it in like 10 seconds. Like literally, I just like put the thing on and I just sing into it. And I was like, ooh, that's good. And then I re-recorded it and made it even better just to tighten it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sent it to my buddy. I was like, yo, dude, we need to make a music video immediately. And he goes, all right, shoot this, 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 and this. And I did it all on my own, sent it to him. And then he added the words. I think it got like maybe, 10,000 views, on that day. And then I
That's
think on
huge
Twitter,
though.
for like, for a song that I just threw together. But I tried to do another one with like animation, and that one didn't do very well. Those don't like, it's just weird, man. Like the algorithm.
I was gonna say it's not you, it's the algorithm.
It's the algorithm. I'm
It
fine
is.
with that.
They fuck with you.
I don't like it either. So it doesn't have to like me.
Yeah, it's everybody's like, oh, what's the magic? I'm like, you have to play by their game.
You have to have an incredible body, pose half naked, like you're on Red Shoe Diaries on Showtime,
Mm-hmm.
and you will be so successful.
I had at the beginning of quarantine, I had like a little spiral crazy naked phase, but then
I remember. we all remember. Anybody that follows you is like fucking. I think it's like I don't. That might be Bush. I don't know.
there's no bush there. I'm blonde, baby. Remember, I was blonde a long time ago.
That is true.
That is true. So okay, so we are doing. So the reason I'm having you on today as an intervention. No, I'm just kidding. Is because I'm doing how to get through tragedy, trauma, breakup, and how did you persevere on the other side? Because we met during a tragic time. I mean, I had just met your very best friend and amazing writer, amazing artist, amazing comic, Angelo Bowers, and you guys got in an accident together, and now here. Can you kind of go through that? Do you want to talk about that?
Well, I don't really want to go into all the details.
No, not the details, but
about the story. Here's the deal: is that life is just a series of traumatic events, and you have to deal with them, and you have to process them, and you have to move on and move forward from that. That's something I didn't learn until many years after any real trauma came to me. Besides, like the way the shit that usually happens as like a kid and like growing up, and then I get into comedy and I start kind of like dabbling in and out of like painkillers, things like that, to kind of get my confidence on stage, and you find your group. And unfortunately, Angelo, who was my brother, was just taken way too early. But here's the deal, man, and this is one of those things, and this is something that you process years later, is just there's certain people that are only supposed to come for just a little bit.
Mhm.
And they're supposed to teach their lessons and give their love and kind of like spread that to everybody else. And then that's it. And I think almost, we learn more from losing them than we do from having them be there. Like you could see that with Brody Stevens. You could see it with Jeff right now at the Comedy Store, with Patrice, or just anybody. I mean, people that are like so loved. And Angelo was definitely one of those people. for me, it was like I handled it losing my friend just with just drugs. That was how I dealt with it for many, many years. I just was like, I just want to be numb and I don't want to think about it with periods of like sobriety where I felt fine, but you can't like
To be honest, I
just
had
quit.
no idea that you went through that.
I was good. Dude, I sold a TV show on Oxycontin.
Wow.
I mean,
Professional.
I was functioning. I was very, very functioning. And it's like, I mean, not saying it didn't fuck with my skin, but I always kind of had pimples. So people were like, oh, well, that's just motherfuckers having some greasy food. He's like, yeah, yeah, lamb
Also, I
chops
think only
recently.
you notice that. I mean, you've always had a little bit of a beard, but so you guys can cover it, but you don't. I mean, I didn't notice that you had
Oh
acne.
no, dude, my pimples aren't in the beard zone. They're in the every area post. I'm like, dude, if this is like in my 30s or even my 20s, especially my 20s, but if I had anything big to do, like a wedding or a fucking, a big date or a show, going to New York the first time to do stand up, it would just be like, boop, just Uncle Big and Juicy just starts dosey doing like, and this quadrant takes over that part of your face, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you do the stupid shit where you try to pop it, and
Oh
then
no.
that motherfucker is just like, Chad. It's just an angry black woman doing telemarketing, like, baby. It's like, this is the deal. This is the one we offering, and you better take it. And so yeah, I mean, listen, there's a picture, Mara, of I posted it on like 4 years off of opiates. And which is May 2020, May 16th, 17th, something like that. I think 17th. I just posted a picture of me like probably like with a good 2 years being off opiates and then a picture of me on. And I mean, just people were just like, holy shit. Just see, I look so puffy and just so bad. And this is the funniest shit too. In the picture where I was all fucked up, I actually cut out Tom Arnold. He was like right next to me. And and it's like, I just could imagine how much worse I would have looked. It's like, God, look at his skin. And he's with Tom Arnold. Jesus. He's doing so bad.
Oh my God! But you sold a show on opiates, which is
Yeah,
not
dude, the first time I ever did stand up at the Hollywood Improv, Rita, I guess she's like the booker slash coordinator. She's like the GM. She does everything there.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had just started. I was probably, 2 or 3 months into being in the LA comedy scene. And I was hitting the open mic at the Improv, and she started this show, which was called like the Best of the Open Mic, and it was like Angelo, Gerard, Yasser, Rel, just like Jade Catapretta, Tony Hinchcliffe, Byron Bowers, like a lot of the people, excuse me, that all went on to do stuff.
Just like beasts now.
Yeah, just everybody's working. It's great. I had a really good class. She asked me to do it, and I was like, holy shit. And I remember it was a packed room at the Hollywood Improv, and that day it was like I was pretty regular with the opiates at that point. I had high tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I took 25 Vicodin ES. And hold on for a second, do you hear that?
Yeah.
Is that from your end?
No.
Okay, it sounded like an ice cream man.
I'm like, I'm in a really
It sounded like Ice Cream Man, or like somebody was playing the video game Tetris, like boom, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, that's me. It's my nervous twitch.
Sorry, the producer's playing Dr. Mario. So like I took like 25 Vicodin ES. Those are 7.5. So the people that don't know, there's a lot of Tylenol in them. So I must have fucked my liver up. That being said, every comic bombed, like really didn't do well because it was everybody's first like big show at the Hollywood Improv, and I was so fucked up. I just ripped, and
you didn't give a fuck.
I didn't give a fuck, dude. The year before I got JFL, I remember this is after the accident. I remember I did the first showcase and I did great because I was all on painkillers, and then they were like, "Well, we don't know if you're getting a callback." And then like 2 months later, I was on painkillers. I remember I had a bunch of Oxy 80s, and they're like, "Can you be at the Meltdown Comics tonight? We can get you on a showcase for a callback." And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And I went, and it was so like there's barely anybody there. Maybe like in Meltdown, which seats like 200 people, like packed in. Like there was probably like honestly like 30, and that's giving more. Most of them were like managers and agents, and I everybody once again just couldn't take it because the energy was so bad because it was all agents and managers and they just like bombed. And then I went up and I bombed, but I was so fucked up. I didn't show it. I just was like, I'm having the greatest time ever. And afterwards, like the head of JFL, Robbie Perone, not Robbie Perone, Robbie Prawl, who's now at Netflix, like came up to me and he was like, "Who are you?" Sandwich, dude. I fucking bombed. So I bombed so hard that the only big laugh I got was when I stopped in the middle of my set and said, "I hate all my jokes." And it got this huge laugh. And it was like, and then I was like, "Oh, sweet, I got him." And then I went back into one of my material and it just didn't do well. And I was like, ugh.
It's like, what was the hardest part of getting sober? Remembering my sets. Like, shit, that sucks.
It's but this is the thing is that this is more of what the story is about because I did painkillers even before and that was the shit that like it's like people that take that stuff, man, are like they're dealing with real pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a party drug. It's not like cocaine, which is like this fucking fun. I'm talking to everybody. It's just like it's something where you're just trying to like it's a pain. It says it in the name. It's killing pain.
Yeah.
I had gotten clean for a while, and then as success started taking off, like I still hadn't dealt with anything. And so when I started really getting a lot of shit, I couldn't handle it because I feel like I didn't deserve it. So I just like kept getting high and just
Why didn't you feel like you deserved it?
because of Ange. It was survivor's guilt. It's
Yeah.
survivor's guilt. It wasn't anything other than that. Oh, but also, yeah, a little bit of like, dude, the thing with addicts, I always, I've taken like I don't do a 12-step program anymore. I do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Much more spiritual with crystals and fucking meditation, all that
And
shit.
fucking,
like,
yeah.
dude, I'm at my mom's in Salisbury because LA was like shut down.
Yeah.
I have never been hornier in my fucking life. Like, dude, I am like on all the apps and it's like it's horrible out here. Like
I met a dude on Instagram and he flies to see me from Texas all the time.
yeah, but you were showing your fucking sniz on Instagram 6 months ago.
Listen,
don't act like we've connected over such real stuff we connected over.
I was talking about God and he loves dogs and I have a dog, and so yeah, that's how we connected.
My dog.
I know, Lecca. Hi.
Yeah, hold on.
Hi, little baby.
Lecca dog.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
She's the best. It's bad out here. I think I'm going back in a couple weeks. I got a few things. I'm doing a little like Philly run of Soul Joel's I'm headlining, and then I'm doing my buddy Shane's show at Helium, and I'm probably I just like it out here right now, even though it's cold. Like I need to get back to LA because I am so pale. I don't look healthy out here. I don't. Like I'll go to
I'm wondering, are you sober still? You don't look it.
Well, no, I'm
kidding.
not. No, this is the truth. Is that I'm not. I'm. I take mushrooms. I smoke pot. But this is all shit. This is all shit that I had to learn. This is all later. That like
I just did
that
mushrooms.
came later.
It was crazy.
Yeah, dude. Those are the best. Those are like something that will change. They reconnect wires that have been blocked in your head. They'll remove filters from your consciousness and help you see clearly for a short window of time. And not even while you're on them, days later.
I honestly thought I was like, oh, this is going to help me become like a nicer person because I'm very blunt. It's not that I'm not nice. I'm just very like short and blunt and people don't take that well. And while I was on mushrooms, I was like, this is going to help me. And then the next day I was like, I'm the same.
Yeah, keep doing it. You got to microdose. I mean, it's so cheesy, it's so hippie-esque, but it's true. It's true.
Have you done ayahuasca?
No, not yet, but I will. I was going to go to Peru, and then there was that pandemic.
The Panny, the Patricia.
We couldn't do it. I was going to go to India this year. Couldn't do that, and I will. I'm not worried. But mostly, to get to it, it's just that to get us back on topic at least.
Thank you.
To finish that. Yeah, I mean, it was. There's something in AA. Well, I shouldn't say that. 12-step program, where it's like most addicts are like they're horrible narcissists, but then they also feel like they're a piece of shit. So it's like you have such a huge ego, but then it's like you have such a shitty view of yourself, and that was true, and it was magnified after losing Ange because I created thoughts that other people had and just put them in my own head, where I was like, they think this. They wish Ange was here and not me. Which I believed that for fucking years. Excuse me, because of how loved Angelo was. Long story short, the success is coming, and I just, like I said, if I didn't feel like I deserved it. And then it got to a place in like 2018, where right at the turn of 2017, 2018, because I stopped really doing stand-up hardcore while the jam was like really taking off. Like we did the special, and then we did the series, and
Mhm.
we're touring and I was just like, why would I want to do stand-up right now? It's like I started the jam because I was frustrated with stand-up anyway. So I started going back to do shows, and I started falling in love with it again. Like really falling in love with it, but I still didn't feel myself. And then one of the things I did, I remember I stopped like coloring my beard, and I started like let my gray come out a little bit. And I was like, this is me, and this is who I am. But then I still wasn't happy for some reason. And then I started dating this girl that was a kind of a famous musician. And I opened up to her about everything. And she was like, you need to meet this guy. And I was like, well, who's the guy? And she's like, don't worry about it. Just keep an open mind. And so I showed up at her house, which has a backyard studio. And there's this dude waiting there, this long white hair and this like gray beard. And he's dressed like John Goodman in Big Lebowski. And she's like, this is art. I'm going to leave you to it. And she leaves. And then he's like, so what do you know? And I'm like, I don't know anything about you. And he's like, well, I'm a clairvoyant, but I work with some of the biggest rock stars and actors and musicians, just everything in the world. And he's
Mhm.
like, and I help clear energy from them because we're so bogged down with all of this bullshit that you're lost. You don't, you're carrying all this weight. You don't see clearly. So I'm going to help you remove all of that. And I was like, okay. He says, first I'm going to read your energy. And he closes his eyes and does this like weird thing.
Were you open to this while he was doing it?
I was just looking at him like, all right. I mean, but also, like I said, I was at a point where it was like, dude, something needs to change.
Yes.
So I wanted to.
You're like, help me, universe.
That's the big thing. I wasn't happy. I was not happy. I couldn't enjoy anything, any of the gifts that the universe had given me from that, like you said, all the talent, like all the shit that I worked for, all the ideas that all that shit. I was homeless for a period of time. So
Jesus.
I slept with different women. It wasn't like I was like living on the street. You know what I mean? You're a comic, you're sleeping on couches and you're like, oh, I can date this girl for a few weeks and she'll feed me. And then, dude, I was like Motley Crue, the comedian edition. Like I was just like, sleeping on the floor of the Sunset Grill. Survive, gang. Ooh, I'm gonna fuck that girl right there. Live in her house, gang. Till she gets tired and she kicks me out.
Yeah, and then I'm the duet to that. That's like, why is this dude still in my house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I always had a job.
That's the way it is. And that's, listen, we do things for survival sometimes.
Yes.
And those are the people that will make it.
Yes.
It's unfortunate, but
I know.
You kind of have to take advantage of people sometimes to get shit done. And there's nothing, as long as you're not, sexualized, you're just doing horrible shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're fine. I never borrowed money. I never stole. I never did anything like that. But it would be like, let me crash for a night. Just spend the night. And then it's like 2 weeks later, they're like, it's time to go. And you're like, I'm sorry I shit on your floor when I was drunk. That actually happened.
Oh my God.
She says I shit on her floor. I don't remember it. I really don't remember shitting on the floor. I might have walked in shit and then stepped in it and then like brought it into her apartment, but I did not shit on the floor.
I did blow one time and then had to go to the bathroom and stood up too fast and a little bit of shit went into my pants and then I had to go home after that. So we've all been there. You know what I mean? Like, there's, we all have a night,
Yeah.
Whatever.
So I go to meet this guy and he reads my energy and he goes, dude, you're running at 90. you're running at 6%, which means 94% of your consciousness is tied up in bullshit. So he's like, we're gonna do 3 meditations and I'm gonna clear it. So we start meditating and he leads me in it and he's like, pull up a picture. And I pull up his picture and he's like, concentrate on it. And remember, it was just me and my dog, but it was like super far away and like super grainy. And the meditation goes for however long, and then he ends it and he's like, okay, so I cleared away this amount of bullshit. And I'm like, he's like, okay. I'm like, okay. And he's like, all right, let's do it again. And so we do it again, and leads me in the meditation, and he's like, pull the picture again. And I pull it up, and it's the same picture, but it's closer and like really clear. And he ends it after however long the meditation went. And then he goes, I cleared away this amount. And he's like, let's do it one more time. And then we meditate again. He leads me into it. And then I have this like full, like out of body experience where I don't even exist. I'm just part of this energy. And it was just like lights and, from what people say, like DMT is like, or something like that. It was a trip, man. It was like, people in Scientology call it going exterior. I just remember that from Going Clear. It's like, dude, I went exterior. I could see myself and I was out of the room. I went exterior. Yeah, but I did. And then he ended it and I was just so emotional. And he's like, dude, you're like completely clear right now. So
wow.
He's like, but it's going to come back. He's like, I'm just letting you know that. Like, you're going to feel good for a few days, few weeks, who knows? And it's like, but it'll come back. And he was right. And a few weeks later, it did. And it came at like a weird moment where I was about to do a set and I had been killing all these sets. And then I'm about to go on stage. And then the booker of the Comedy Store walked in, and you always want to impress them.
Mm-hmm.
And I got like so non-present. I was just so like, everything came running back. And I had an okay set because I don't bomb anymore. It's like I'm at a place now where it's like, no, I know how to be funny. And even if I suck for a little bit, I can make fun of the suck,
mm-hmm.
and that'll get them back on my side. It's just stand-up comedy is just about being present. That's all it is. Just be present. If you're just have a good time and be present, and you'll fucking kill. So I remember I went home that night and I was like, did this come back? Why did I get nervous doing something I really want to do? And then I realized it was like, what am I doing? I'm watching the news all day long. I'm like, I'm not reading. I'm going on social media and just being
not living your life.
Yeah, you just see shit and you're like, oh, they're doing that and I'm not doing it. You're just comparing and contrasting and whatever. And I said, well, I have to stop that. And so that guy Art, I got in touch with the dude from Ojai who, did the meditations with me, and he set me up with this spiritual guide to teach me like transcendental meditation. And he gave me a bunch of books to read. And then, everything started getting better after that. Once I started meditating and acting classes were the two things that have helped me more than anything in life.
Did they do the meditation where you say, may I be safe, may I be at peace, maybe, did you do that one?
No, it's all transcendental. So I talked to the dude I talked to him for a couple hours, and then he's like, this is your mantra. And he gave me my mantra, and then he just kind of taught me how to do it. And at first it was like, you'd meditate and you'd be like, fuck, man, this is like, I feel every second. Like it's like 20 minutes feels like 2 hours. And then the next thing you know, it's just like, it's just whizzing by. Like, dude, I meditated today and I closed my eyes and I didn't fall asleep. I didn't fall asleep at all. I went exterior and it was crazy. It's like, it was over as soon as it started. And I feel refreshed.
Do you feel like you deserve the things that you definitely deserve now? I mean, you worked so hard. You were in music for so long. I mean,
well, no, I was never really. I mean,
you're into music.
Yeah.
Even when you did your one, what's that one joke where you ended up going, remember that was that Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy or?
It was the it's a joke I'm very proud of. It's called When Guys Come.
Yes, I remember it. It was like the wheel that from The Price is Right.
Price is Right joke.
Thank you, God, Jesus. I knew I could get there.
Damn it! You know what pissed me off more than anything? This fucking like weed vape. It's like died and there's juice still in it. It's a disposable. Those motherfuckers.
Oh, cheap fucks. Salisbury.
Cheap fucking motherfucker. But there's a guy out here that's been buying me pot. So I'm meeting him on Thursday.
Thank
There's
God for
nothing
him.
to do out here. There's nothing to do.
I rented a cabin in the Poconos, so I stay here 2 days a week, and then I stay out in the Poconos the rest of the time. And my neighbor sells weed, and he tells me all the time, "I'm giving this to you at a value," and then I just bring it back to the city because I don't smoke weed. But I'm like, "Here, friends."
Dude, I've spent a lot of time in New York. I've been in New York, fuck, like almost a month out of the whole pandemic, and it's the best.
It's so you should have come into the studio. It's so nice. It's nice to be
I
like
was
a
there.
normal.
I was there all last week. I'll be back in February. I'm staying with like Big J and Christine.
Cool.
Just kick it.
Yeah,
The
well,
best.
we record out of Sound Lounge, which is like the #1 audio house. I don't know if you probably have come into a casting here. If you look up Marshall's IMDb, he's fucking rad as fuck. Like every single one of my favorite movies, I was like, "Are you kidding me? You were the sound engineer on that?" I had no idea. I just thought he was my bud.
Insomnia by Christopher Nolan. Did he work on that?
Hell yes, he did. He directed it. No, I'm just.
No, it was Christopher Nolan.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he did. I was just okay.
Lion,
So
the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, Narnia. I love.
Did he work on that?
No, but he did work on Working Girl. Do you remember that movie?
Say the city skies.
I watched that music video. She's tiny. She was definitely anorexic. Have you seen her? She's little. Okay, so you are horny in Salisbury. You have nothing to do. Are you dating or you're not dating? You're not dating. You're on every app.
No, I mean out here. I haven't been here in, first of all, I haven't been in Maryland. I mean, I've been in Maryland to visit my mom for like 3 or 4 days here, but the intention wasn't to stay this long. The intention was just, all right, I'll go for a week. But then I was like, but I'll pack as if I'm going, 'cause I'm bringing my dog. I was like, I'm probably going to stay till Christmas. And I stayed until Christmas, and then I booked a New Year's gig out here with Jay and Dave Attell, and I was like, all right, I'll do that. And then, I booked fucking, I had like, not Houston. I had to do San Antonio and Austin. I was like, I might as well just fly out of BWI. And then it became, I did Tennessee with Jay, and I've just got more gigs, and there's no gigs in LA right now. So I was like, all right. I mean, listen, it's like, it sucks because like, dude, if I want to jerk off, I have to wait till my mom goes to sleep. You know how that feels like?
I mean,
I got a homie that lives like 20 minutes away, and like New York's only 3.5 hours, and Philly's like 3, and Baltimore's 2, and I got a car while I'm here, and it's not horrible. And the
Yeah.
weed guy is meeting me.
Brett's
and
going to be in Atlantic City, I think, next weekend. You should go and
Who?
Brett Ernst. Hit him up. That would be such a good show. That would be it. I've always loved you as a comic. That's why I booked you on my
Thank you.
tour. I was like, yeah, it'd be
You
so
did.
fun. It was so fun. It was a weird room.
You rode across the country.
I did. Man, I got so thin. I miss those days.
Just
No.
fucking plan another trip.
I know. I'm going to. I know. I was actually thinking, I was like, God, I got to start doing things for people again. Do you do any sort of like gratitude stuff? Whatever happened with the chick that set you up with art?
Oh, well, that just fizzled out. But we're still very, very tight friends. But yeah, it just didn't work. To really like wrap it all together, I started going to this spiritual guide, and he started giving me like tools. So you mentioned like a gratitude list. Yeah, of course. I write out how I want things to go, like big things that I start getting nervous for, like, a TV set. I wrote out exactly how I wanted it. So you do like, they're called ideal scenes, and I do that. And then when I get like really down on myself, I just free write, which is you just take a piece of paper and you just start writing the evil shit that's in your head. Like,
You write it out.
write it out. And it's like, at first you're thinking about it, like, oh, I suck and nobody likes me and blah, 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 whatever the fuck it is. I'm going to bomb this or whatever it is. And next thing you know, you're just writing and writing and writing, and you fill up both sides of the paper. And sometimes you fill up more than one page, and then you just rip it out, fold it up, and you can either just rip it up or you could burn it. I always burn it, and you just get rid of it, because all that shit has to get out of you. And also you'll have to get out what you want. You have to set intentions. You have to realize that you choose to be depressed. You choose it. No one else does. No one's trying to make you depressed. You have horrible things that there could be bad things happening in your life. You're not getting what you want, not this, that, the other thing, but you still can either just go, okay, or you could just let it kill you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing, is that, I mean, we've lost so many jobs and money and work since the quarantine, and people are like freaking out, and yeah, I was too at the beginning, and then I was like, dude, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that I have money, I have a place to live, I have a car, my bills are paid. Then even that, it's like, oh, I think, with the few voiceover jobs that I booked in 2019, I could like, oh, I can get unemployment, and then you get $600, and yeah, it's not what I was making a month, but it's something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you just have to have like little running mantras, and one that I really like is just thank you, just saying thank you. Like I'm so grateful that even though I want to get out of here, I'm so grateful for this time that I spent with my mom. You know, it's like I'll never be able to get this time ever again. I get to help her out, see my nieces and my nephew while I'm here, be the cool uncle. My friends aren't that far away. I'm able to hang out with them.
I know. Cool people over here on this side.
Well, but the thing is, it's still a pandemic, so it's still like I'm limiting the people I really spend time with. It's like I have a handful.
I'm glad you're being responsible. Some people just are not.
Well, because I'm staying with a 74-year-old woman. Like if my mom got COVID, like I'd be devastated because I gave it to her, and I've already had it, so I don't think I'm gonna have it again.
You had it back home?
I had it in LA. I had it right when everything shut down. I got it right at the jump, dude. Like it was like
What were your symptoms? Was it bad?
so NBA shut down Thursday. On that Sunday, and I did a show Friday and a show Saturday. On that Sunday, I started feeling a little lousy. It's funny too because I was in Italy when Italy had its huge outbreak of it. It went from China to Italy, and I was in Italy. I took my mom to Italy. And it was like on the first day there, it was like, COVID outbreak. Back when they didn't call it COVID, they just called it a
Coronavirus.
coronavirus. Everybody knew that was too long. You can't just say, hey, dude, I got corona. Like it's got to be COVID just sounds better. COVID, they finally figured it out. Like, because all the other ones like H1N1 or
SARS, yeah.
AIDS, HIV, the big C. Like, you gotta have like a quick name, and coronavirus it's coronavirus. It's like 7 syllables.
We're so lazy. We have to shorten everything.
COVID. So it's COVID. So yeah. So I didn't get it in Italy though. I got it in America because it was here back in December. People think so. So the NBA shuts down on that Sunday. I started feeling congested, but like just kind of discombobulated, and then that night I had a fever, but not bad. Just like I remember like being like hot, and then I woke up in the morning just drenched in sweat. Like my whole bed was like it was just like I squirted everywhere. It's like just gush all over my bed. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? And then I had a cough for like 2 weeks, but dude, by the third day I was outside running.
Oh.
I was running up the hill, and
Well, you're a healthy, spiritual dude. Thank God.
yeah, but I couldn't taste or smell anything. That was
Did that affect you a lot? Was
I
it just
mean,
like annoying and aggravant?
I just didn't. I knew something was up. That was how I knew I had COVID. I was like, well, I don't think I have to go get tested because I have that symptom.
Yeah.
But who knows if there was like underlying damage? It could have. Like, I have a buddy that had COVID, and he's got like some nodules on his lungs now. I mean, you have no idea.
Yeah, a lot of people are having blood clot issues. There's a lot of probably Raynaud's that's going to happen, which is like when you don't get circulation out to your limbs.
Oh, I have that.
You do?
I've had that for years, though.
Maybe that's why you were predisposed to get it. So maybe that was one of the factors that made you a little more prone to get it.
I hurt my back the other day, and this finger and my thumb, like right here in the J, it started being numb and just like tingly.
Where in your back?
My lower back, but I know it was glute. I know for a fact it was glute. It was just I was so tight, and I just hurt myself warming up, doing a deadlift, a very lightweight. I've never felt more 41 in my life.
I was like, what kind? You warm up with a deadlift?
No, I had already been doing other exercises,
Oh,
but I
okay,
was about to do like a Metcon, of like I was going to do like 6 rounds of X, Y, and Z. And so I was setting the barbell up, and I wanted to do a deadlift in what I thought was the perfect form. I really did. So I've been doing it for years, but obviously something happened, and it just felt like a shock in my lower back, and I was like, uh-oh, and then immediately felt tight. I kind of like stretched and rolled out and did a bunch of stuff. I kind of did a little bit of cardio too, but like thinking I'd be fine. And then that night, man, fuck, dude, it was so bad. Like I thought I was a cripple. Like I was like, that's it. I'm going to need a ramp.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna have to get a scooter.
I have a fitness podcast that you can obviously be a guest on, but I do talk about this on there. But one of the biggest things that people do when they injure themselves is they stretch it, and you don't want to pull apart something that's already been traumatized. So you want to just give it a minute. Don't stretch it. So that always usually aggravates it. But
I stretched the fuck out of it.
Oh,
and
good,
it
good, good.
hurts. No. It's fine now. Like I just like I did a light cardio today after stretching for like 45 minutes because it's gotten way better. But dude, Saturday night over to Sunday, I thought I was like, this is my life now. I was like, I'm a cripple. And it was scary, dude.
Yeah.
It was really fucking scary.
When you get over that 30 mark and then you still think you're a little invincible and then you get to 35 and you're like, all right, I started feeling it. And then you get to 40 and you're like, all right, okay.
Dude, Myra, I was like, Myra is my acting teacher's name. Mara, I honestly, like, I think I was in the best shape of my life at 40. Dude, I was, especially during the coronavirus. I was just like, I was working out every day, doing like hit stuff and yoga, and I have weights at my apartment, and I had this little area out in my garage where I could work out, and I had like an area I could run that was all gated and just away from everybody. It was just in my apartment building that nobody, not even the residents, would fuck with me, and I just could do like CrossFit workouts, and I just ate right because I'm cooking all my meals because I was like trying to conserve money. And dude, I'm still in good shape. I've eaten a lot of my mom's cooking recently, so I've put like maybe 5 or 6 pounds on. Like I'm 162. Ooh. So not bad. But of course, my vanity, I'm like, oh God, you fat piece of shit. You gotta get rid of it. And that's the thing that's scary is that I'm 41. And I mean, I've always been able to lose weight very, very quickly. But 41, man. It's like shit's starting to slow down.
Women love a little on there. Just like they want to be the better looking.
I mean, but it's just for health.
For sure. I mean, you look fantastic. I didn't realize. I mean, was I oblivious? I don't know. I always thought you were pretty in shape.
I was. No, I was. I've been like, even when I was like a junkie, I was like, dude, I was like, there is no way I will drink dairy ever. But
I'll take Oxy.
But I will snort this weird blue pill that I got from some dude on the corner of 5th and Broadway. And he was half asleep from Soma's.
As long as it's gluten-free, I will take it in.
I was like that. I was a fucking LA drug addict.
Yeah, that's the only way to stay lean out there. That is the fight, to stay lean and beautiful. And now you just moved to New York and it's easier. The fight's easier.
That's the thing, is that I love New York and I have so many good friends from New York, but I don't know if I would move there because we talked about my happiness.
Mm-hmm.
I think LA is more my speed.
I agree with that.
LA is just chill, man. It's just beautiful. And it's like, there's assholes, but they're not so many of them. Like New York's just full of them. Like, fucking, you're fucking, you hear thunderstorms. Like they're those kind of guys. Like,
yeah. There's sun out there. It's nice weather. There's not here. It's very hard. Like I feel stuck here, but I do consider Southern California home. I'm like, I just want to go home, but
you can come home.
I mean, my life is here. Everything I'm building is here. So
for sure.
Yeah, you just have those moments. Okay, so let's do a little like how to, because I do have a lot of listeners that write me that have had, miscarriage, of going through a lot. So what would be your one bit of advice? We did talk about it a lot, which I think is great takeaways from this. But what can you tell my listeners as like a value yourself or whatever how do you pep yourself up other than your horrible writing of all your evil thoughts?
You have to believe that you are worth millions of dollars, because you are. You have to believe that. This has been trying to make it in the entertainment industry for sure. You have to believe and know your worth.
And I think a career, life, I think that translates through everything. I mean, in a relationship, you have to believe that you're worth love. You have to believe that because you are like all those things.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think more than that, because that's such like a trying to make it type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about people that have had, miscarriages and this, that, and the other thing. You have to learn to go with the flow. And I know that sounds so cheesy and so surfer-esque, but there's a book I read called The Tao of Pooh. Somebody gave it to me when I was in the car accident, and they were like, this book helped me, because other people were giving me other books. Like they were giving me like autobiography of Richard Pryor. But this one person was like, here, you should read this. I didn't read it for like 6 years. And I remember when after that, like I had that weird set at the Comedy Store, I saw that book and I was like, I'm going to read that book. And I read it in like 2 days. And there was a story. It was basically, if you know who Lao Tzu is, he was a very important Chinese philosopher. He invented Taoism, and he wrote a book called the Tao Te Ching. And so this book, the Tao of Pooh, is basically the Tao, but translated into these like stories involving like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and that whole universe, Christopher Robin.
Okay.
And there was a story where Piglet and Tigger and Pooh are on a bridge, and Piglet falls off the bridge into the water that's like got a pretty fast current. And he's like squirming around, and they're like, hold on, we'll try to help you. And he's struggling, and as he struggles, he keeps drowning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh my God, we'll be right down. And they run down the bridge, and they get there, and Piglet's gone. And they're like, oh my God, where's Piglet? And then he just comes walking up on the grass, not too far away from them. They're like, how'd you get to land? You were drowning. And he was like, I just stopped trying to fight the current, and I just let it take me to land. Because that's the thing, is that we're all constantly believing that we can change the outcome. Sometimes certain things are just predisposed to be a certain way,
For sure.
because the universe chose that. So what you have to do is be able to accept it, and then like make adjustments. Like because you're gonna hear no's, your body might give out on you. The love that you had with someone changes because you spend 5 years with somebody and you learn the real person, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to know that you're going to be okay. But if you try to fight and be like, well, that person's wrong because it's that person's problem and they are fucking that. No, it's like you just have to accept it, be able to accept shit and just go, it's all good, man. It's all good. Coronavirus is all good, dude.
Ride the ride.
So short. It's so short. It is. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, this first 20 years felt like forever, but these last 20 years have flown by.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get quicker because the longer I'm alive, my perception of time becomes more grandiose, and I understand, it's not like one day isn't one day of 5 years. It's one day of 40 years or 41. It's crazy because it's all the perception of time. So you just got to learn, man. If you're in a bad place, write down to what you want, and your brain will start taking you there.
And it kind of goes back to what you said at the very beginning, where you're like, some people are meant to be in your life for a finite amount of time. And that is the exact gift that you get to receive for that amount of time.
I've lost somebody that a kind of connection you make with another individual might come once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime. I know for a fact. would be lucky if it happens again.
Mm-hmm.
If it happens again, to have that kind of connection to another human being. And I lost that when I needed it more than anything. When I needed it.
For what you thought you needed.
It was just such an important moment in my life, and to lose that, it's crazy. But you just got to learn that it's like, no, it took time. You got to process it, and you just got to be like, yeah, it's actually this great thing, because it made me appreciate my life, and it made me appreciate what I have and be grateful for every show that I have and for every friendship, real friendship that I have, and it's great. Like if you want to write something, fucking write it. If you want to do something, you can do it. Just do it. You have to just do it. And because it's never going to happen if you don't fucking work for it.
Yeah.
You still might get rejected, but at least you were like, dude, I gave it my best. Because that's all you want at the end of your life. I gave it my best. who would be like, oh man, I just dicked around playing World of Warcraft and fucking never met a girl, and I always wanted kids, but I never had kids. It'll happen. Just hold your horses.
It'll come when it's supposed to come. Don't fight the current. I love it. Okay, so where can people find you?
On the old thing?
On everything.
At Josh Adam Meyers on all social media. My website's joshadammeyers.com. That's where I got videos, shows. I'll be at Royersford February 4th at Soul Joel's Comedy Club, and I'll be at Helium February 2nd in Philadelphia. I think I'm going to be in Ohio with Big J, but I'm not sure yet. And then I'll be back in LA soon. But listen to my podcast, The 500 with Josh Adam Meyers. I'm going through Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums with like super famous people, and it's dope, man.
Hell yeah. Amazing. And I would love to hear on your podcast. I'm going to send you some tweets that I saw about how people that work for Rolling Stones were treated. And I would love your insight on that.
They're probably horribly.
Yeah, that's basically what they're saying. How they had to all have like second and third jobs just to work there. Okay, yes, please follow Josh. His podcast is fucking phenomenal. Everybody loves music. So it goes through all the top 500 musicians, and make sure to check out the goddamn Comedy Jam. Just check out all of his projects on joshadammeyers.com, and follow Happy Never After Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and give us a rate and review. And you can follow me directly also at Mara Merrick. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. It was so good to see you.
It was good to see you too. You look like you're wearing titty tassels, by the way, but it's your pockets.
It's my pockets.
It looks like, I was like, she got titty tassels on? Yeah, the bitch has lost her fucking mind.
It's pockets. These things are huge. Okay, well, we'll work together.
The way you were sitting, it looked like titty tassels.
I sent a picture of my tits to my best friend, and she has none. And I was like, look at period boobs, right? And she sent me back hers, and she's like, yeah. I was like, oh, sorry. I bought half of mine. I'll buy half yours. All right.
There you go.
Happy Never After Podcast on Be Frank Network. Love you guys.